might find heaven in Hell's Kitchen. Well, I'm going to give you 5 things that actually is going to prove that point a little bit. It's going to give you hope about finding heaven here in Hell's Kitchen, because Hell's Kitchen hasn't always had that reputation. In fact, in the 19th century, the neighborhood got its name from a biker gang. So throughout the years, it has been a place that New Yorkers have avoided living, but there's a lot of people moving here now, and I'm sure you want to know why. It's a very up-and-coming neighborhood, and we're going to get into it. I have to say, though, this neighborhood is very much, you see what you get, and it has some amazing perks about it, including the affordability options for real estate. Alright, so one of the very big pros about Hell's Kitchen and why a lot of people are moving here is because it is very, very affordable. One of the most affordable neighborhoods in Manhattan. In fact, the median sales price here is $1 million flat. It's actually a little bit less, around $995,000, but I thought, you know, hey, $1 million is a pretty easy number to remember there. So you're just at $1 million, where in comparison, the Upper East Side would be about $1.3 million in their median sales price, and downtown would be 1.6. So Hell's Kitchen being $1 million certainly feels like a bargain. The only thing is your options are going to be a lot of walk-ups here. There are some new buildings because there's a lot of new growth, a lot of new development coming, but it's little by little. So you are going to have some options of new construction buildings, but you're going to have a lot of older type buildings as well, especially walk-ups. And that is certainly true if you are renting, but again, there are a mix of options. Of course, if you're working with a real estate agent, you're going to be able to find some really cool findings. So we just have access to the best inventory out there. The rental market moves pretty quick in New York City, but the sales market does move a bit slower in Hell's Kitchen. Definitely, the sales market always moves slower than the rentals, but this is especially so for Hell's Kitchen when you compare it to other neighborhood sales. So another perk about Hell's Kitchen are the cultural amenities. The big highlight is definitely going to be Broadway. It's going to be the theater district. You're going to have all the shows, all the Broadway shows right here. Take your pick. I mean, it is endless. So especially if you're looking for a second or third home in Manhattan and you're like, wow, I really want to be immersed into that life and those theatrics, then yes, Hell's Kitchen is a great option to look in. Its theater district is just west of Times Square, so Times Square a lot of people tend to avoid unless you're a tourist. Obviously, it's one thing that you want to see, but still, you're just on the outskirts of Times Square, so you don't have to be in the heart of that craziness. But hey, some people say it's a perk too, and we'll get more into that because there's transportation options that could be beneficial to you. In addition, Central Park is about a 10-minute bike ride away, and you also have Hudson River on the west, the furthest west side, which is going to also have the highway for transportation, but also the awesome park. It has the great strip that you can run all the way down to the edge of Manhattan or all the way up it. So it is amazing. The sunsets, it's a definitely lovely perk about the neighborhood. So that is a second thing that you'd want to consider. I was saying that my mother used to tell me when I was a kid about, finding the right woman, that she used to joke and say, the way through a man's heart is through his stomach. It's because, we feed him well. So, of course, that's why as you can imagine, growing up in an Italian family, it's just like Sunday sauce all the time. And then if you come over to my place, my mom's gonna offer you food regardless of what hour. It kind of reminds me of like the Goodfellas when they walk in at like 2 o'clock in the morning and she's making them pasta and a feast. It's a little bit about me.
Look, go inside, make yourselves comfortable. I'll make you something to eat.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. We're gonna leave.
No, I
Just get
can't sleep.
something.
Not
We're gonna
while he's
change when we
home.
go
No,
out.
I haven't seen him so long. I want to see him. Good, you just go inside.
This stuff is great, but it's like lead.
So tell
Anyways, enough rambling here. So the reason why I'm telling you this little story is because Hell's Kitchen, that could be your ticket to heaven, is through the restaurants. And just like it's ticket to my heart, I guess, foodie, right? I am a huge foodie. That's one of the reasons like Hell's Kitchen is just amazing, because you have a huge diversity amount of options. Like you have diverse amount of options. Anyway, great food. I mean, you have everything from your high-end stuff, but most of it is like casual. Like you don't need like reservation like way in advance. You can walk right in, boom, get a table right away. But the food is excellent. You have options from Thai to Italian. I mean, you cannot go wrong. Chinese, I mean, they have it all here. Barbecue, it's amazing. So the restaurants are going to be just a huge perk about the neighborhood. On 46th Street between 8th and 9th, you're going to have Restaurant Row. It is literally a row of restaurants on both sides on the bottom of townhouse buildings. Like these brownstone townhouse looking buildings that usually are just all residential. Like on the bottom, they are restaurants, which is super cool. I'm going to drop some recommendations you're going to want to check out for sure. So that is certainly a perk that I think that's going to win your heart. All right, so before I get into another perk about Hell's Kitchen, I want to just address something. Like a lot of people are saying like, it's really not much of a neighborhood. Well, it kind of is. I mean, I don't know if you can hear it or not, but there's been people talking behind me like this entire time I'm filming this whole video. And there's just a community of people just sitting on the bench talking. And as you can see, I have a scarf on. It's actually cold. So it's like they're just out here talking, hanging out. It just gives you that kind of vibe. There's like basketball courts and things like that. People are just playing, just in the middle of the day. So it does have that community vibe. But unlike the other neighborhoods, there's two things that it does have, and I know this because I live in Hell's Kitchen. That's a fun fact for you. But it has a meat market, like an actual meat market. Like it's not a Whole Foods, it's not like a big grocer. It's called Esposito's Meat Market. This place is where you can go and you can buy like some of the best steaks and every kind of meat you can think of. And Thanksgiving, it is line out the door. You got to order it way in advance. It's just a line even just to pick them up. I mean, it is wild. And similarly, they have a fish market, so they put out all the fish on ice, and of course, in the summer you got to be careful walking around that corner because it doesn't smell the greatest. But still, you can go get a fresh fish. So if you like to cook, I mean, those are really, really neat options. I think it gives it more of a neighborhood vibe. So, I mean, I guess that wasn't going to be one of like the whole perks I was going to highlight, but yeah, I would definitely say so. So consider this maybe like a bonus perk. All right, so one of the amazing residents here is a local artist. What's your name?
My name is Sheer.
Sheer.
They call me Quest.
Sheer. Okay, they call him Quest. His name is Sheer. What do you got? Sheer's actually, lives nearby and brought one of his paintings that he made here. We want to show it to you. Go ahead, yeah, show it to him.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, there you go. A little bit higher right there. Keep it there a little bit. Look at that detail. I mean, that's pretty cool.
I love to ask the people what they think.
Cool.
And if they could walk away with something that means something to them that they can carry and then pass it on, and that's what it's about. The same thing with your real estate, I believe. Like, you show people that, we do have community and things of that nature. So you're not just buying a house, you're buying this kindness and this hospitality that you may not find in other places.
All right, so another perk for you, it just depends. Some people might not enjoy this, some people might. The nightlife here is a perk. You have everything from live music, dive bars, things like that, places to watch the game. You have some lounges. Yeah, you could say, you have a few lounges. You're not gonna have a huge amount of options, but you're definitely gonna have some lounges. It's more of like a divey kind of scene here. But that said, you are very, very closer to a lot of rooftops. So you have rooftops here in the better weather. You also have some venues that are a little bit more of a club scene. So it's a nice mix. Not as like a huge amount of options as downtown, but you certainly have enough here so you can have fun and not have to go out too far away in Manhattan. And I would say that's definitely a pro. So one of the major benefits of Hell's Kitchen is that it is literally the heart of Manhattan. You're centrally located, you're close to everything. I mean, you've got a ton of transportation options between the metro lines, the subway lines that is, and the city bikes. They have bike lanes everywhere. Central Park is right there. The West Side Highway is easily accessible if you need to go really up north or south. I would say the one tip I'd give you is, when you're going crosstown, which is always pick your poison in New York City, it's always tough regardless of where you are. Of course, you really want to try and avoid Times Square, so make sure a little bit north or south of that when you're trying to go crosstown to avoid that extra congestion. You can get anywhere, pretty easily in Hell's Kitchen, especially if it's on the west side or Midtown, I guess you could say. But if you're going Upper East, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer. But the cool thing is you get to go through Central Park to get there. I mean, I live in Hell's Kitchen. My office is in the Upper East Side. And so I literally, every time, I'll take a bike or my electric longboard to work through Central Park, and it's just amazing. I love it. The one thing I'll say it's probably far from is like way south, like Financial District of Manhattan, or maybe I would especially so Lower East Side, East Village, because it is the most eastern side of Manhattan. So that said, you're pretty close to everything. That is definitely a huge pro for the neighborhood. Hey, if this is your first time to my channel and you want to see inside some amazing properties, I'm talking about everything from a $20 million townhouse to a $500,000 studio. I will show it all to you. Or maybe you're curious about the insights of the neighborhoods here in New York City and you want to know the pros and cons, what it's like living there. I'm going to give it all to you. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications so you can be the first one to know when I drop a new video. My name is Michael Holt. I'm a real estate agent with Compass right here in New York City. My team name is Living New York, just like the channel. I hear from people like you all the time that are looking to move, so it doesn't matter if your timeline is 9 days or 90 days. I would love to help you. I'll put all the information in the description below. And if you're not looking to move, that's okay too. I look forward to hanging out with you and showing you around the city.
I saw you over here for about maybe like 20 minutes, but out of respect for your space and you were doing your own thing, I didn't want to, but then God was like...
Good. No, I'm glad. You got to listen to that instinct. And I'm glad you came and said, hey, what's those glasses you have in there? Look cool. Look funky, man. I like it. Look at these things.
Well, somebody thought it was raining once.
Gotta get closer, show them. Yeah, look at these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There we go. There you go.
Somebody thought it was raining when I had them on. It's like, is it raining outside? I was like, no.
Do they sparkle?
Not kind of. Well, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
They do. There's like glitter on those things. Yeah. Maybe we'll pick it up with the camera, but if not, it's worth pointing out.
Well, yeah, I like the. I don't know. I got that from my mother. My mother was an artist. Shout out to Diane Nobles. Rest in peace. Love you, baby. She's my favorite artist. I grew up watching her. She had like a cubism style, and that's how I got into art. I only been doing it. I started at 42. I'm 45. I was having these dreams about her, and I had to just go back. I had to forgive her. That's what my art is about. It's about forgiveness. I had to forgive her. I had to forgive myself.
Wow, it's
this whole situation. And move forward. And I feel like I learned something from her every day. Like once I was able to forgive, then I opened up the door to where as though it's like, hold up, that's a mother's love we talking about.
Yeah.
And as a son, I just wanted to, whenever they see me, they had to see her because people couldn't see her before.
That's powerful. I love that story.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks for coming to say hello.
Keep going.
I'm gonna put in the description where you can follow him, check out his art and his awesome story. All right, guys. Until next time.
Thank you, bud. Love you.